Talk shoes.
Recorded live.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's Thursday, it's 10:30, and that can only mean one thing: Late Nite JengaJam. I am your host, J.G. Edifel, and with this week we're having Mike and Matt Chapman, the creators and people who run the HomestarRunner.com site, which is full of all sorts of flash animation and just their insane brainchild and the people they quote-unquote call dumb animal characters. Whether that's true or not, we'll have to see. But without further ado, we have one of our two guests today. Matt Chapman is the man who does the voices for most of the quote-unquote dumb animal characters that comprise the Homestar Runner. Matt, how you doing? Hello, Matt.
I'm here. I'm Mike.
Oh, Mike. Hey, how you doing?
Yeah, I just called in like 30 seconds ago.
Oh, wow.
Last year, too, I had muted my phone and forgot to press unmute.
Wow, so we have Matt and Mike Chapman, Mike being the one who does half the animation, and Matt does the voices. And together they make what is arguably the most popular Flash cartoon, or cartoon of any kind, on the World Wide Web.
Hey, well, thanks for saying that. I have no facts to back that up.
It sounds right to me.
Yeah, but the more you say it, the more it
I believe it.
It's a self-fulfilling thing. The more we say it, the more it comes true.
Exactly.
But, I mean, I'm sure you get this at every interview that you guys do, but, it started out in more than 10 years ago, in '96 during the Olympics. I guess Mike and Craig Zobel worked on a children's book.
That's correct. We were bored one day and went to a bookstore on our time off and thought that we could probably do something better, so we wrote the original children's book that day.
Hello?
And just no color, just Sharpies on typing paper. We didn't really have computers. Hello? Hello?
Can you hear us?
Oh, sorry about that.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah. Someone was saying hello, hello.
Oh, that was me. I apologize. I had like a momentary lapse of reception.
Oh, gotcha. Anyway, so yeah, we just made copies at Kinko's, like 10 copies for our friends, and there was no color or anything like that. It was just all old school Xerox stuff. And then a few years later, we scanned it in and colored it and made a souped up version a little bit. That was like '97, and then we started the website in 2000.
And that children's book motif sort of occurs in your work. I mean, you did something for the 10th anniversary last year, and then every now and again you'll see a children's book written by, I guess, Lem Sports Interviews?
Yes, Lemard.
Lemard, yeah.
Lemard for long.
You get a lot of these, like, recurring, like I guess, site gags for people, inside gags for people who are, following the site for a long time, almost rewarding them. I mean,
yeah, exactly.
Where do you pull this stuff?
Exactly. It pays off to look at, watch all the stuff. We throw in a lot of stuff for people that have been watching for a long time. And, 90% of the people, they don't know what it means. But for those 10% that do, it hopefully gives them.
Yeah, something I feel like I learned from Mystery Science Theater. It felt like they were always, dropping either a reference to a joke they had already made that was totally exclusive to the show, or making some weird reference to a commercial, from the late 70s or something that, they knew that only about 10 people were going to get, but they made that joke anyway. And so it's just sort of like, this is for you 10 dudes that are going to like this joke. And so I always thought that was very cool. It just sort of, the way that it gets that kind of homey, grassrootsy feel. And so, yeah, we like to keep those. And it was also a part of just creating the universe of the Homestar characters, just having stuff like there's a weird children's book author inside the Homestar universe, and there's this guy that writes all the episodes of Cheat Commandos and other things that we keep.
And the children's book author's wife writes weird
Beverly Cleary
junior literature. Yeah.
Beverly Sports Interviews.
Yeah, it's been a while since she's written
too. I'm pretty sure she's ex-wife. I don't know if we've stated that.
Yeah, I'm sure Lem couldn't hold down a woman for very long.
And it seems to me you fleshed out this universe quite considerably. I remember in the past, the people have asked you, hey, you guys are planning on doing other kind of projects, but anything you guys can think of, you've almost sort of, I don't want to say shoehorn, but you've found a clever way to incorporate it into the larger Homestar universe.
Yeah, exactly. Making bad metal songs and crappy drawn-on notebook paper comics, we can find a way to work it into Homestar.
Yeah, there's really nobody to tell us not to do that stuff. So it's sort of almost the curse of Homestar Runner, where it's like, there are other projects that we'd love to do, but then it's like, oh, well, we could just do that for this website. So why start some other project when we can just keep doing it for the cartoon? So it's sort of the double-edged sword of we'll never get out of this universe because we can just keep expanding it.
Oh, yeah, I mean, and it sort of goes like the testament to you guys' creativity too. I mean, that you have not only the regular citizens of Freetown, USA, but you have, that metal band Limousine, and more recently that not so metal band Sloshy.
That's right.
And
yeah,
you've already said. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh no, I was just saying exactly. It's very easy to just kind of keep it going and actually more fun, and especially things like that are like it's Strong Bad's favorite band was Limousine, and then it just kept sort of developing its own thing, and like Teen Girl Squad started as just a sort of one-off thing that Strong Bad did, and now Teen Girl Squad has its own characters that keep recurring and crap. And we recently made up this hip hop character named PCP for a Teen Girl Squad, and we're probably going to make a PCP song. PCP and Coach Z might do a duet.
Oh man!
So weird things like that where it's like, so just it's just weird things where it's like, okay, this one character made this comic called Teen Girl Squad, and then inside the Teen Girl Squad, he made up this rap character that the characters in Teen Girl Squad like, and now that character is going to do a duet with one of the main characters. I don't know. It's all ridiculous.
I think one of the reasons you guys are successful with being able to expand it so much is that you don't play necessarily like. I mean, I guess there is a continuity with Strong Bad's technology and with Cardboard, Homestar, and Marzipan, and you give those gags and stuff. But for the most part, it's not an ongoing like arc story where you're able to pretty much go in there fresh, and people who have never seen Homestar Runner before are able to go in there and understand it because there's no continuing storyline.
Right. I mean, the relationship between the characters is kind of the only ongoing thing where like you watch a cartoon, you kind of get like, okay, Strong Bad is the jerk, and this
it's pretty easy to figure out which characters, what roles they play.
Yeah, and so that's sort of the thing, and and there's been that sort slowly develops. There's things where obviously like Strong Sad has gotten bolder, and there's been a couple times where Strong Sad actually even lashes out at Strong Bad, which never used to happen. So that's sort of there's these slowly moving arcs for the people that have been watching it for a long time.
Coach Z's got a lot
of character development.
Yeah, and so it's there's that, but then at the same time, yeah, it's sort of fun to not mess with that. I mean, occasionally we just recently did this cartoon called The DNA Evidence that sort of tied together this running gag that we'd been doing just sort of as a background thing in some cartoons, and we thought it would be funny to try and tie it all together, and we do so sort of with not a lot of plot holes, but at the same time it was like hard enough that it would be a pain in the ass to try and do that like every week.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like I remember like some series is like, well, most of my audience comes from roosterteeth.com, which is the home of Red vs. Blue. Have you guys heard of it?
Oh yeah. We've met those guys.
And the reason Bernie gave for ending the series, like the regular one, is because they were doing this ongoing story, and then for a 6-minute off, six-minute segment or whatever, episodes, it was sort of collapsing under its own critical mass. Like you couldn't incorporate all that continuity after a while.
Right. Yeah, and it makes it easier to do those, sort of offshoot things when you're, when we're doing is sort of a 3 to 5 minute cartoon every week. It's way easier to do like, okay, now we're going to do a commercial for this fake brand of marshmallows this week, and that doesn't need to fall into any continuity. It's kind of nice to be able to jump completely out of any continuity.
Yeah, and you guys have been at it for what, like 7 years now, of the Flash animation, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll be 8 years, I guess, at the end of this year.
Yeah.
That's pretty crazy.
It means I've been watching it for 5. Wow.
Nice work.
Yeah.
I haven't been watching that long.
Yeah. But, like, I remember, like, the first time I ever had any experience with anything Homestar Runner, there was a sticker on, like, this tunnel underneath the train tracks when I went to school. And it said Strong Mad had a posse, and then it had the HomestarRunner.com URL.
Nice. That's an old sticker.
Yeah, I don't even know whose that would have been, because we didn't even... Unless somebody made their own.
Well, we had a thing on the page for a while, a download where you could just it just had a layout of.
Maybe it was one
and
of
so
those.
they could have made their own, but yeah, that was the first Homestar Runner product we ever made. I got 100 of those printed at stickerguy.com, I think, in 2000.
It was such a big deal.
And we didn't have an online store or anything, so we got 100 of those printed and just gave them to our friends. So if you've got an actual vinyl sticker of those, it's. There's not too many of those. I don't even think I have one of them.
Yeah, I tried to stick. It was right when I moved to New York, and I tried to stick them all over the cool bars in Brooklyn, and like they would be down the next day. Like so much for our street team. So the fact that you actually saw one somewhere and it made you go to the website, that's pretty awesome. So
Yeah.
somewhere it worked.
Yeah, sure. Gotta thank your contacts out in Villanova, Pennsylvania, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know who those are.
But I mean, it sort of goes back to what I was saying, like with the community and everything. Like back in the day, this is the way you guys have heard of me, which is kind of shocking. Is that you've heard of Jengaship from the old strong board, and you had this old message board, and you used to have a community there. And I remember a bunch of names like Invisible Pedestrian and Taryn and.
Oh yeah, Taryn.
Yeah, you made the game for her.
Yeah, Taryn got immortalized in that. Yeah, in the Taryn game where you'd kick you just kick her around the screen, I think, or
her head,
her head off, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and a bunch of other people like Carter and Emily. I don't know if you remember her or not.
Emily, I remember Emily.
Yeah.
A Steve, wasn't there an A Steve? Or no, what did he call it?
Strong Steve.
He called himself Hamsar. Yeah, Strong Steve or Hamsar. I forget what he. It was it was kind of funny. It was this terrible. We were hosted on Yahoo at the time, and it was this. They didn't support PHP or any sort of back-end stuff, and it was just this called Miva was the script, and it was so not robust. And the board, do you remember what we called it when the board would crash?
I'm trying to remember.
I don't.
No. Somebody, I don't know who, I think just one time when it crashed, I just put the word bonk up at the top.
Bonk. Oh my goodness, I remember that word.
So the rest of the people,
yeah.
Yeah, so the people on the board started calling it bonk, and yeah, even a couple people named had their screen names be something involving bonk, and so that was kind of fun. It was it was fun to be that sort of involved. You know, I mean, we read emails from folks, and obviously the Strong Bad emails are all real, but at the same time, it wasn't quite as hands-on. And it was fun too because then I never really posted as me. I don't think I would usually just post as Strong Bad, and so it was nice.
Yeah, wasn't your screen? Didn't you have an avatar that was Dennis Franz for a while?
Yes, it was several different pictures of Dennis Franz, including the one from when he was on The Simpsons.
Yeah, that's right.
As playing Homer in the sexual harassment TV movie.
Mr. Simpson, that's a living creature. I don't care.
Exactly. I'm gonna get me something sweet.
Oh man. And, you know, I guess the natural question is, like, I guess what happened to the site?
It's still up, actually.
Well, I mean, homestarrun.com, but, I mean, the board is, like, you know, I have that little Easter egg to it, but, like, the actual, you know, the message board aspect of it, like, sort of the community aspect of the site.
Well, I mean, that one, the Yahoo one was, you know, just really hard to maintain, obviously, and just kept breaking and stuff, and so that became more of a hassle. And then we switched web hosts once the traffic started to get pretty bad, or you know, good rather. And so we tried another message board at one point, and it got like just overloaded. I mean, it was a good thing. It was like within an hour there were like 1,000 users and stuff, but it was just crawling. And at the time, it was the sort of thing where we just didn't want to have to pay for the bandwidth and stuff. And then, you know, we looked into, you know, there's lots of message board suites you can get, and like just, you know, free message board hosting services and crap like that. And I don't know. It was the sort of thing where we just kind of were like, this is too much trouble. And you know, we're doing Strong Bad emails pretty regularly, so that's being in touch with the fans. And we started putting the fans.
It's mostly just technology
on the website, and yeah, it was mostly just technology and some laziness, a dash of laziness. But yeah, I mean, it would be nice. And then, I mean, at that point, that was the other thing, is at that point there were like 2 or 3 Homestar fan sites already, and they were all run really well, and like, you know, had their own moderators and all this stuff. And then obviously eventually when the Homestar Wiki appeared, it was like, all right, well, the fans are doing this for us. They've got the community, so we'll let the fans run the community, and then we'll just keep doing the cartoons. So that's kind of why we don't host our own message board.
Yeah. I remember
our fans are doing it way better than we could do it. So,
like .net and Homestar Freaks, and I think
there was one, the coolest stuff ever.com was one of the early ones that was really good for a while.
Yeah, coolest, and then Homestar Rules there was a Homestar Rules for a while. Yeah, it's but so that's, you know, again, that's super cool too. This the fact that that the fans are doing that for us, and then I mean, in turn, it's crazy too, and they're really great about policing stuff. I mean, like if somebody like links to something where someone's trying to sell our merchandise without our permission, or if there's an eBay thing, like these, communities will go after those people for us, so we don't even need to, like, pay lawyers to do it or whatever. So that's pretty awesome.
Wow.
So speaking, so as the community, like that's a perfect example of the community. They've become like, whatever, their own police force for Homestar.
And then I've taken, a one-off gag from Homestar Runner and spun it into a successful online identity.
Yeah, exactly. And speaking of that, you'll be hearing from our lawyers very soon.
I was wondering about that.
It's such an obscure thing, and that's what's great. It's the Strong Sad Journal's never been directly linked to. It's always been from that one Easter egg, and so the fact that
is that is JengaJam just from the journal?
Well, yeah, because he refers to it as a Late Nite JengaJam. I mean, JengaJam's in that one cartoon, but it's the Evite for Homstar's. I think that's what it's called. I forget. It's some party that Homstar's throwing, and one of the
I'm creeping and I'm creeping and I'm creeping.
That's right. Yeah,
that's what it's called. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. So I found it I think it was off the Strong Bad website, and you click. I'm giving out Easter eggs now. Go to Wiki if you want the Easter eggs, man. Find your own way. I had to do it the hard way, by pressing tab and finding out where yellow things were highlighted.
That was it was hilarious. That was I don't know how many years we'd been doing it before I even knew the tab trick, and I found it out from reading it on one of the fan sites. I was like, wait, really? You can just hit tab? And so our dad was very happy to hear that, because he used to just we'd catch our dad watching our cartoon, and he'd just be clicking on like everything and going through the entire cartoon and just clicking 1,000 times.
He's clearly not watching the cartoon or paying attention to what anyone's saying. He's just trying to click on every word and every object on the screen.
You're like, Dad, that email only has one Easter egg, so you can.
But yeah, that brings you another point, like the whole interactivity of the cartoon, like the fact that it's on the web. Like if you're watching it on TV, you really can't click things on your TV. One cool thing about the DVDs are you still have some of that interactivity in there.
Right.
But not necessarily all the freedom, but I think it's always kind of cool that you do that kind of fan service where you hide something, and then something that's hidden as an Easter egg will become as part of the fans' minds as something that was in the regular, continuity of the actual story that you're telling.
Yeah, there's some times where we, if there's an Easter egg at the end of a cartoon, we're really tempted to put it in the main cartoon if it's really funny and we, really like it and we feel like it's, a good part of the cartoon. And there's always the temptation to be like, well, why don't we just put that at the end of the cartoon? And
yeah, definitely.
But knowing that most people are going to see it either way, and I don't know, keeping the Easter eggs, gives the fans feel a little something special at the end.
Yeah. 4 or 5 years ago, I feel like we'd meet people that would say that they just, we would tell them, we were like, oh yeah, well, we hide the stuff, and they'd be like, wait, you hide stuff in your cartoons? And so, at that point, we were probably on like Strong Bad email number 60 or 70 or something, and so like they were excited because they get to go back to all these cartoons and check it out. But I haven't heard that from anybody in a long time, so I feel like if you watch the cartoon, it's probably kind of common knowledge that there's hidden crap, and I think it's just sort of, Easter egg culture just seems to be a thing with DVDs and just kind of stuff in general, not just Flash cartoons. I feel like it's kind of more prevalent.
Oh yeah, definitely more than now. I mean, I remember you were doing DVD commentaries before most people had DVDs in their houses.
Yeah, well, it was fun. It's so funny because now we do it on our actual DVDs, but then when we did the DVD commentary on those cartoons, it was like a joke because it was like, oh yeah, DVD commentary. Like DVDs were like a funny novelty like fad that was happening.
Deleted scenes.
Yeah, that was all sort of just a funny thing that we thought. I figured DVDs would stick around, but that stuff I thought was totally a fad. I didn't think we'd legitimately be doing it 5 years later.
DVDs still do advertise interactive menus, though, which I think should be illegal.
Oh, yeah, you already bought the DVD.
It's like, what? I mean, of course it's interactive. I have to, the interactive menu, all that means is just you had to press up or down and then hit enter.
And then scene selection, that was another one that they'd list. Scene selection. Wow, bonus.
I can actually select which scene I'd like to view.
Well, I mean, what a modern age we live in, and now they're looking to replace these DVDs with HD DVDs or really more online downloadable content and stuff. Yeah, and I'm wondering, have you guys, you have the podcast runner and everything, but have you guys dabbled in, looked into doing anything with, Xbox Arcade or Xbox Marketplace or anything like that?
There's, we've considered that sort of thing. I mean, for us, I mean, I don't know. We enjoy the way we're doing it now, and it's free, and that's the thing, And I know you could potentially do it free on Xbox Live Arcade, but it's like somebody is savvy enough to be using Xbox Live Arcade and downloading content from it. They probably can get on the web and go to our site and watch it for free. And like, especially now that there's like all these plugins, like there's a Google iGoogle widget that like is like it's an RSS feed, and it'll like automatically when you go to homestarrunner.com, it'll make it full screen but not show you the crap outside of the viewing area that you're not supposed to see. It auto formats it and all this stuff. So I feel like if your desire, if one of the complaints occasionally people will say is that because we still sort of have the cartoons in that tiny, the default size for Flash that it was in 1999 when we started making the cartoons, and we still have it that way, and so there's plenty of ways to watch it full screen these days.
True. And, as all-encompassing as it's been for the past 7 years of your lives, I mean, you guys have managed to do outside projects. I remember a certain episode of C-Lab where Sharko, I think, is training, and I hear someone singing. And I'm thinking to myself, that's Matt Chapman.
Yeah, our friend Christian works for 7030, which is who made C-Lab and who makes Frisky Dingo, and so they just said, hey, we're trying to do, we need to, and it's funny because like it was right, I think it was right almost in tandem when we were doing an email that made fun of montages, and so we also had a training montage in our cartoon right around the same time, and so yeah, so I tried to do sort of a more John Bon Jovi voice, and then but they were like, can you be squealier? And so it ended up just being Larry from Limousine. So he's actually credited, I think, or I'm credited or something like on IMDb as being Larry Palarancini is credited as singing that song for that episode of C-Lab, which is pretty hilarious and only furthering the myth that Limousine was actually an 80s metal band.
Wow, I mean, that's pretty cool. And then I remember the one like side project you did where I checked it out, and it really wasn't, I mean, I don't know, the mellowmushroom.com site. Where
that wasn't a side project.
Specifically because you guys did it.
That was. I mean, I did that in 2000?
Yeah, probably like right when we were starting to
2000, 2001 maybe, and that was purely business.
Yeah, I mean that wasn't a side. That doesn't count as a side project.
Yeah, that's not a side project. That was just work.
Oh, work.
Yeah, that was just paying the bills, and it was like they basically at the time I wasn't. Homestar Runner didn't have, wasn't anything really to worry about, so I didn't feel bad about ripping myself off or ripping ourselves off and making the site be very similar.
It's so great too because it still says tunes on it, and there's still only one tune.
Yeah.
I want to
we just
talk.
Sorry, Matt.
Go ahead. Oh, I was just gonna say I want to call them and just be like, hey, I recorded a new sound file for that guy just saying tune. Will you change the button so it just says tune now?
Because they originally, I did the site as it is now. We just looked at it today randomly, and it's pretty much the exact same. And the idea would be that we would continue to make cartoons and do stuff for it, but it was right about the time we did that site when we started focusing more on Homestar Runner, so we didn't have time, and then they just never found anybody else to do much on the site.
Well, it's a smart move on their part. I'm in the north. I live in Philadelphia, so I'm probably at least 100 miles away from the nearest Mellow Mushroom. But if I'm ever down there, I'll probably go and visit them, specifically because you work on the site.
Well, nice.
So they win. You should be collecting some royalty checks now.
Yeah, come on.
It is pretty good. It's pretty good pizza.
It is good pizza.
Well, I want to remind our callers that the lines are open. The number to call is 1-724-444-7444. Then you dial 6478, and you're in. And I have a couple of callers in the room right now, but before I get to them, I want to hear. I mean, I guess I have all these questions about the characters, but it occurs to me that I could probably hear from them themselves, rather than let you speak for them.
Oh, I didn't know they were supposed to come. They're not here right now.
Oh, man.
I'm just kidding. Yeah, who do you want to talk to?
Well, I guess I should. It's sort of a metatextual moment if I talk to Hamsar for a minute.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
He's really hard to locate. Hang on a second. And I'm also walking around my neighborhood talking on a phone, so my neighbors are going to get freaked out.
Oh, wow.
Well, ask away. I'll see if I can find them.
Oh. Well, I'm wondering, like, Did your Jengaship ever get repaired?
My pace is overwhelmed since 12 days.
Oh my goodness. Wow, you called my bluff. That was our metatextual moment where I sort of meet my creator. Sort of like those moments in fiction where they meet the author, I guess.
If you don't step away from the car, I'll chop your fingers on.
Wow, that's got to be the most violent thing I've ever heard you say. I'm sorry. Wow. You are not the man I thought you were.
Hey, don't push him, man. He's got a mean streak.
Okay. Well, I guess I thank you for your time, Hamsar. We'll get to our callers in a little bit. Actually, we have one person. Before I should give my co-host Obo first crack at you guys. Laura, did you have any questions for Matt and Mike?
Yeah, I want to know why Trogdor is so hard to play on Guitar Hero.
I know. It's so much easier in real life.
Yeah, we suck at it. We tried to play. We immediately cranked it up to expert, thinking we'd be so great at it, and we're just we suck too. So talk to Harmonix or Activision or whoever's doing it now.
So I guess my related question is, did you guys have anything to do with that besides saying, yeah, go for it?
Well, just Alex Rigopoulos, the dude that who was the president of Harmonix or I guess he still is, but when Harmonix was still making Guitar Hero. He was just a fan and emailed and was like, hey, you guys want to put a song on here? And, yeah, so basically, yeah, we just said yes. And then they put it on. And then there's a limousine song actually on the Rocks the 80s or whatever, the Encore one that just came out over the summer. And,
oh wow!
We tried to get something together for Rock Band, but we were busy. I just had a baby, and so we didn't really have enough time to get something going to try and sneak in some sort of Homestar reference in Rock Band. So sadly.
Wow! Congratulations!
Congratulations on that, by the way.
No, we didn't get anything in Rock Band.
One of the cool things about that track on there, I bought it on Guitar Hero 2, was that it's actually Strong Bad's the actual track from the album, it's not like the Organics people covering it, and it doesn't sound like Mike singing in Strong Bad's voice. I wonder what that would sound like.
What, me singing Trogdor?
Yeah.
No.
That's Strong Bad. No.
No.
I don't want you to hurt yourself.
There's a reason I don't do voices on the site.
What if the cheat made it though, Mike? What if the cheat had Strong Bad singing?
What is one thing I need to think of? I can do it. Trogdor was a man. I mean, he was just a dragon man. That's all I can do. It's really bad. I told you.
But you know what? I think this is the first time I've ever heard that cover anyway. I mean, I remember I used to see the Power by the Cheat stuff like all the time, and now
Yeah, we're probably due for some Power. There's been a lot of Easter eggs and a lot of little small bits in emails where they'll be Powered by the Cheat stuff. There hasn't been any full Powered by the Cheat.
Yeah, Powered by the Cheat and Marshy were two things that seemed to really polarize folks. Those were two things and old-timey stuff.
And old-timey stuff, yeah. Like a lot of people really love it, but a lot of people really hated it.
Yeah, so Powered by the Cheat we sort of relegated to appear, he would do stuff in the context of a cartoon, but not solo cartoons. But we should probably not listen to what people say and just make some Powered by the Cheat cartoons, because I love them. They're some of my favorite things on the site, mainly because Mike does them all. And I don't really.
You don't need to help with those.
Yeah, I can go out of town.
Well, I have a caller from Michigan who's unmuted. You're on Late Nite JengaJam.
Hi, Michigan.
Michigan? Are you with us?
Oh, hello. Hi, Jack. This is Old School.
Oh, hey.
Old School.
On. Yeah, I called in late. I didn't specifically have a question, but I do love the Homestar Runner. So.
Well, great.
That's awesome.
Wow. Well, Michigan, thanks for your call. I'll keep listening in.
Yeah, I'll keep listening.
We're from Indiana. That's close to Michigan.
Pretty close.
Yeah, we've got relatives in Michiana. That's what they call northern part of Michigan or of Indiana, right?
Oh, small world. I have friends in Michiana, actually.
Is the southern part of Michigan called Michiana too?
I'm not sure. I have a sister in Anderson though.
Oh, I don't know where that is. I only know about Winnemac. It's a really small town, but it's really cool.
It's on the other side of the state from that area, I think.
Oh.
Gotcha.
This has been Geography Talk on the Late Night JengaJam.
Yeah.
Actually, very appropriate, seeing as how your host, Jengaship, is a 2-time school-level Geography B winner. And if I knew where 3 Mile Island was, I would have competed in the Nationals, or at least the state level.
Really?
It turns out it's in Pennsylvania, which is where I live. I thought it was in Tennessee.
Oh.
But that's
you
more of a
thought
history thing.
You thought an island was in Tennessee?
Yeah, there are rivers and stuff.
I'm just joking.
We're landlocked. What do you want from me? Actually, I have someone in here I know has a question. Trev, you're on Late Night JengaJam. How you doing?
Oh, Jesus Christ, I'm unmuted.
Yeah.
What's going on?
How's
You're
it
on
going?
the air with Matt and Mike Chapman.
Hey, what's going on?
What state are you from?
Well, I'm from Massachusetts.
Okay, that's not very close to Indiana.
No, not at all. No.
I've never been in the fine state of Massachusetts.
Oh, it is fine.
You never been to Boston, Mike?
I never have been to Boston.
Are you
Never?
in Boston?
No, I'm not. I'm actually north of Boston, up in the North Shore of Massachusetts.
Okay.
But I've been there.
So what's going on?
Not much. It's nice to finally talk to you guys. I must say I've enjoyed Homestar Runner over the years. Actually, it was Mr. Jenga over here who got me involved in it some years ago.
Nice.
Nice.
And I have to say that one of my favorite things that you guys did was the Strong Bad Sings album. And I was curious to know if you guys had a sequel in the works of sorts, like another album coming out, because I'm really interested in hearing a bit more Limousine.
We were just talking about that the other day, and yeah, it's especially, I don't know, since home recording is so much easier. Not that it wasn't easy when we made the CD, but you know, just GarageBand and all this stuff. It's just so much cheaper to do it, and we'll probably do it in less time. There's kind of no excuse that we haven't made another CD at this point, especially since we've probably got 3 albums worth of new songs that we've made on the website since we put out that CD. So we really want to do one. It's a matter of us getting off our asses and doing it.
That's the one thing is before, you know, in the early years of the site, the songs we would do would be pretty short. And so the album really fleshed out a lot of these songs that on the website were just, you know, 10 or 15 seconds long. But nowadays we tend to make the songs on the site be more full-featured anyway. They're close.
Yeah.
You know,
we have to try harder to soup them up for the CD.
Yeah.
To make it worthwhile to buy it.
Yeah, and the versions on the website were really half-assed because we didn't have GarageBand or access to any sort of decent-sounding, you know, programmable drums or anything.
Yeah, just Mike and I sitting at 2 computers in our apartment, like holding a microphone up to an amp or something. So.
Yeah.
Well, Trev, thanks for your call. We'll catch up with you later.
Yeah,
right,
so
man.
watch out for that. We'll mark that down as another person that gives a shit about a CD, and we'll try and keep working on one.
That makes 5 of you.
Oh, 6?
6. Okay.
All right.
Okay, we have Count 3D in the room. Count 3D, you're on Late Night JengaJam.
Good evening, gentlemen.
Hello.
Matt. I actually have a question for both of you, 2 separate questions. And I guess we'll start with Mike.
Okay. Shoot.
What advice can you give for anyone who is trying to learn how to make Flash animation cartoons?
I think that for us, the key was to find something that you really wanted to do, which for us was Homestar Runner, because then you'll learn because you want to do it, as opposed to if you like. I've tried to learn programs, After Effects and things like that, and unless you have a project that you're really passionate about, you know, I can sit there and do tutorials and learn something, but then, you know, I pick it back up 2 weeks later and I've forgotten everything. So I would say that finding something that you really want to do was for us the key, and then just getting you know, a good book. You know, that nowadays there are tons. Back in '99, 2000, there was about 4 or 5 different Flash books, and we had them all, and you know, just buried ourselves in learning from there. But most of the time, you know, we were just looking back at the cartoons we made. We made a lot of pretty awful mistakes, and just learn by trial and error.
Don't let not knowing what the hell you're doing stop you.
That's true.
That was a big part of what we were doing was, we didn't know what we were doing, but we were just like, well, let's just try it this way. And, we'd make it work for us, even though if it wasn't the best way to do it, you still just sort of forced yourself through instead of hitting a wall.
Yeah, we started doing Flash maybe in like August or September of '99, and then I think that we put the site up in January. So I mean, the first cartoons, we'd only been messing with Flash for 3 or 4 months when we, started making cartoons and putting stuff up. Not that anyone was watching that, but
I can see how having a bit of a film or an experimental period would definitely help you out and to get to know something and to get new ideas and things. And I'm a film major myself, actually, and my next sort of question is for Matt. I read that you graduated from Florida State University, and I was wondering what it was like to study film there.
It was good. It was the undergrad program was a little a little bumpy. I don't think they'd really figured out what to do. The graduate program seemed to be much better. I don't think they knew what to do with undergrads. But I definitely learned writing was the biggest thing I think I learned best there, as opposed to actual film craft. The teachers they had for screenwriting classes were really good, and story classes. Yeah, it's in the film school is part of the stadium, the FSU stadium actually. So on game days you couldn't get to class.
Cool.
You shouldn't have had classes on game days anyway.
Well, yeah, you need to. Yeah, but we'd need to get.
Oh, you guys going to class on Saturdays? Film school nerds.
You'd need to go in and shoot something, probably. So, dude, film doesn't stop for weekends.
And go shoot frickin' Bobby Bowden, man, on the sidelines. What's the problem?
We all had to make football movies. That was the worst thing about it. FSU made you make football movies.
Count 3D, thank you so much.
Oh, sorry, I was going to ask him where he went to film school.
Oh, that's okay. He's still here. He's still here, I think.
Yeah, I'm still here. I'm currently studying north of the border at a film university, a university called Queen's in Kingston, Ontario.
Oh, nice. Awesome.
Yeah.
We've been to Saskatoon before.
Yeah, how was it?
That's in Canada. It was great. There's a statue of Bobby Orr.
That is correct.
Yeah, and yeah.
Didn't we have the Homestar Puppet talk to him, didn't he?
Yeah, I think so.
We had Elnea in the room. How you doing?
I'm doing good.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi, what's going on?
Not much. I'm a huge fan of your site.
Thank you.
Thanks.
And I love that you had the old 386. I used to have a 386. And
awesome.
Huh?
I said awesome.
Awesome. Yeah. It was an awesome thing. And I love your all your little games, your little mini games that are all in like 16-bit. Is there going to be a Dungeon Man 4?
Ooh.
I don't know. We kind of felt like the Dungeon Man adding graphics was sort of the kind of the pinnacle of the Dungeon Man series, especially since did you win the third Dungeon Man?
I did. I played through it.
Nice. We figured since that was kind of why we had you get Ye Flask finally at the end.
Right.
Sort of like that's this is the thing that's been plaguing the Dungeon Man all his life, and finally he gets Ye Flask. So we kind of, from story-wise, which is such as it is, we were sort of thinking of that as being the end of the Dungeon Man. But if people dig the text adventures, we'll make those till the cows come home.
I miss those. I miss those old Infocom text adventures.
Yeah.
Well, that's the style of if we did a Dungeon Man 4, like those Infocom games, where it was just a scene, but the graphics, you didn't have a character that walked around the scenes, but it was just the scene, and there was some color and stuff like that. I mean, so it would be not just monochromatic like Dungeon Man 3 was. There's a graphical style I've got in mind for Dungeon Man 4.
Oh, cool.
We'll see what happens.
There was that terrible I think it was Roberta Williams' one of her first games was a Dark Crystal game for the Commodore 64.
Yes, exactly.
So it was
exactly.
Black, white, pink, and yellow were the only colors.
Yeah.
But I think that would make a pretty awesome game.
And I like Peasant Quest too. That was good.
Yeah, we always Peasant's Quest. That's something that I would do constantly too. If it didn't, that game, we probably took us 6 months
Yeah.
Working in the background, still trying to update the website. So that's just one we haven't. We have plans for what the other Peasants Quest games would be, but we.
Yeah, that's something I really want to do. It's just we don't program. We've got a friend, Jonathan, who programs the games for us, and so he doesn't live in the same town as us. So we're working with him. It takes a little bit longer to do the games because we can't do. All we can do is graphics. And
So you use Adobe Flash to do the cartoons?
Yeah.
And are you guys on Mac at all?
Yeah,
we're on both.
Yeah, we've got both. We do most of the site on PCs. We do some stuff on Mac. We do all the DVDs and video editing and stuff on the Mac.
Oh, that's cool. Because I recently went Mac, so.
We usually we would probably be more likely to go Mac, but we use Flash 5, which is like 6 versions old or something. And Flash 5 will only run in the classic OS 10 mode. And it doesn't run very stable at all. It crashes a lot and stuff. So if we could ever figure out a way to make Flash 5 run smoothly on a Mac, we'd be more likely to just do more work on that.
Yeah, we run OS 10 and then run that Windows emulator and then run Flash 5 inside that.
Yeah.
Maybe that's the solution.
I just got the whole Adobe suite, so I'm like excited about the Flash and learning how to use that stuff.
Yeah, it's good. It's a great program.
Very cool. For some reason I thought you guys were in Chicago.
No,
that's a lie.
It is.
That I read.
I went to Chicago once and got really sick. Food poisoning at this place called the Trattoria. They had a raw egg on my pizza. Awful.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's okay. I was going up there to do a project on Frank Lloyd Wright, and my friend that I went up there with ended up having to do the whole project himself. So that was pretty sweet. I didn't have to do any homework.
Yeah, but it's not fun to throw up and stuff.
No, I did that a lot.
Well, I want to tell you, my very favorite email is the children's book. The children's book. I still laugh. I've watched it a million times and I still laugh. Everyone is not on fire. I think that
was a really fun one to make.
Since
we got to make both, the children's book first, which was fun and hilarious enough just to make that by itself, and then having Strong Bad, defile it.
Right.
Because we just kind of made the children's book first, right?
Yeah, I don't think we
didn't really have it planned out what Strong Bad was going to do.
And then we just, my eyes roll back in my head, and I turn into Strong Bad, and then I just unleash him.
Well, anyway, great job, and I have a lot of your stuff. And the only thing I would wish I could see in your store is, like I've got the window clings, like little different characters, and I've got your bumper stickers. But it'd be good if you had stickers that were like shaped and not bumper sticker shaped, because I like stickers to put on my guitar case and stuff.
Yes, we were talking about that recently. We used to. We had that many years ago. We had a set of stickers, but we don't. That's something we should do.
Yeah,
we'll do that.
Just a request. You don't.
We'll do that.
I just
guitar cases need stickers.
They do. Desperately need stickers.
That's the best thing too. If you had said like, I don't know, not to diss on people that play
cello
the violin.
case.
Yeah. You saying guitar cases, that's so much cooler than if you were like, my
oboe case needs a sticker.
Yeah, they don't need stickers at all. Oboe cases don't deserve stickers.
No, they deserve to be burned.
In the punk rock orchestra, maybe. They didn't have punk rock orchestra at my school.
But if they did, that would automatically make your school the most awesome school ever.
That's true.
It would be like rock and roll high school.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
With oboes.
Which makes everything better, but only if they have stickers, which they don't, which means they are made of fail.
I was just looking around the site, and I realized that months ago, maybe 2 years ago almost, like level 10 of Stinko Man 20XT6 isn't up yet. I mean, I don't know what's going on. Is that the running gag? Or
we talked about that today, I think. Was that today we were talking about that?
Yeah, because I talked to Jonathan, and that's again because our game programmer dude moved out of Atlanta. He lived here for a little while, and he moved away, and at level 9 was the last one we did, and then he's just, he's doing his, he doesn't charge us top dollar, which which is awesome, but at the same time, it kind of, I think, makes it a little harder for him to make time for the Homestar stuff when he gives us such a good deal. So we know exactly what's going to happen. We were just talking about how the end boss would work. It'd be huge. It'd be very epic. It'd be a nice end to the Stinko Man the Cinco Man game. So before HomeStarRunner.com, before it comes off the web, the whole website, we'll do Cinco Man level 10.
Well, good to know. I would like to see Cinco Man get the same kind of closure to his character arc that My Dungeon Man has had.
Yeah, exactly. There needs to be that. That was the thing. Playing that recently, we made that game really hard.
Yeah, I was discussing adding an easy mode where we just redo most of the levels and make them a lot easier because I suck at it now. Like when we were making it.
Yeah, because that was the problem. Is me, you, and Jonathan were playing it because we were making it, so we were playing it all the time, and we were the only ones that were really testing the levels, and so we could, it's like, oh yeah, that's pretty easy. But yeah, going back now playing it, it's pretty hard.
It's pretty hard.
Like, how many hours have I lost playing that? I'm thinking to myself, the actual Mega Man game wasn't this hard.
Yeah. Well, that was one of the things. We definitely wanted to make it be. We didn't want to make some little flash game. We did purposely try to make it be, as far as difficulty, be somewhat close to a regular Nintendo game. We wanted it to be more like Strider level as opposed to Mega Man level. Strider you could win in maybe 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Maybe we should just go. Oh, go ahead. Sorry, go for it.
No. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was just going to say maybe we'll go back and just add in a few extra men here and there throughout the rest of the game.
Yeah, I guess that would be an easy way of making
it. A midpoint, like a middle save point for each level or something. That might make it a little.
This would just be 30 extra men on every level.
But yeah, I want to remind our callers that if you want to call in, the number is 1-724-444-7444, and then you dial 6478, and then you're in, basically. Got a couple of more callers in the room. Vicky, Silver Whisper, you're on Late Nite JengaJam. How you doing?
Hey there.
Hey, you got a question for Matt and Mike?
Yeah, kind of a silly question, but it got decent approval in the chat room. So, Mike, brilliant question of the night is, if you had to kill off one of the main characters, can't be like a secondary character, it has to be one of the main characters, which character would you kill off, and how would you do it?
That's a good question.
Yeah,
Let's see. Well, there's the standpoint we could kill off somebody that's really hard to animate.
Yeah, that'd be an
just
easy way to
lighten our workload a little bit.
Maybe Coach Z and Bubs finally, their friendship turns sour, and one of them.
Yeah, these characters that have legs and elbows, like jointed arms, that's a problem.
So that's the real reason that Homestar doesn't have any arms.
Well, we just lucked into that, but yeah, we love.
The reason why we haven't added any arms to him.
Yeah, he's such a joy to animate. I think Bubs is even worse than Coach Z because he has a mouth. Coach Z just, he can just bop his head around. But
I've always thought it would be really, really tragic if Pom Pom or the Poop Smith died. I feel like the two silent characters, if one of them died, that'd be really sad. If I was going to do it, I think I'd do it more as opposed to being abrupt and stuff. I'd really want to, if we were going to kill off a character, I'd really want to make it legitimately be a tearjerker.
Yeah, that would be really fun.
Make grown college kids and people in cubicles cry when Pom Pom dies.
Pom Pom, that would be a good one. That would be a good one because Pom Pom, everybody likes Pom Pom. Everybody knows he's the coolest, but he's also the one that hasn't gotten his due. You see him; he's probably the least seen character. As far as the main characters go.
Yeah.
And usually I assume he's just off doing cool things, much cooler things. It's and it's almost like, man, he was always out there doing cool stuff and I really didn't get to see him that much. Man.
Now he's dead.
It's a new T-shirt opportunity too. You could always be like, where were you when Pom Pom died?
It'll be the defining moment for some weird generation.
If a couple of weeks from now Pom Pom turns up dead, I'm going to feel like a jerk.
Yeah, really.
And everyone is going to blame you.
Yeah. Pull a Captain America, why don't you?
That's a good question. That's a hard question to answer. That's a good one.
Well done. We have John, Scapino 1974 in the room. How you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing pretty good. How are you guys?
What's up, John?
I got a question for you. Somebody asked this on the Red vs. Blue site, and I thought I'd steal it and make it my own. When you guys are picking an email, I'm sure you get tons of email for Strong Bad. What do you look for to know, hey, that's a good email, that one needs to be made fun of? Is it the name of the person emailing? Is it the question, the lousy spelling and grammar, or what is it?
It can be any or all or a combination of those. It's usually like within the first 5 seconds of looking at an email, it's either deleted or, you're thinking about something. Most of the time it's deleted.
Yeah, it's sort of like you read the email, and if Strongbad keeps talking, like, in your head, like if he starts to, respond to the email in your head, then it's like, okay, and you just sort of see where he goes with it, and if it starts to be funny. I mean, oftentimes we'll pick an email because, like, I'll be like, hey, what about this one, Mike? And I'll read it, and then, like, think of the first thing. Yeah, think of, like, how Strongbad makes fun of their name or what they said or how they spelled whatever. And then we'll be like, oh, that's funny. That's a good enough joke. And then we come up with something for the email. So sometimes, yeah, just the person not knowing how to spell something will get it in the door. But then at the same time, there's those obvious ones where you can tell they're trying to misspell things on purpose to try and get Strongbad to make fun of it.
Sure.
So those get deleted with extreme prejudice. And then
another way to not get it sending it multiple times. Anytime I see an email that's been sent 50 times or even 6 times, I just delete all 6 of them without even reading them. It's like, you're cheating. You only get one chance.
But yeah,
it's usually just really quick, and you don't want to sit there and dwell on read the email and be like, okay, how can you respond to this? It's
we have
to
try too hard.
Yeah, if it doesn't jump out in the first couple seconds, then you just keep moving on.
Very cool.
We have some more questions in the room if we want to take some from people who are too sheep to call in.
Oh, sure, go ahead.
Too sheep. We've got ALA Caboose in the room, and he wants to know. He says, so, the Trogdor comes in the night. Where did the inspiration come for the most amazing song and the wicked dueling guitar solos? Love, ALA Caboose.
That was, we were making the Trogdor email, and it was one where we were, it was Monday late afternoon when we were finishing the cartoon up.
Yeah, it was Monday morning because I was making eggs.
Oh, were you? Okay, I thought it was later in the day. But
we stayed up all night, and it was
Monday morning.
Tuesday morning. I don't
Matt
know.
was apparently making eggs. I thought he was making a sandwich. But anyway, he started singing the Trogdor song just randomly. So we had no plans to, had done the whole email basically without the Trogdor song at the end, and Matt just started singing the Trogdor song in the apartment. And so then I was like, well, I guess we got to make this song now.
Yeah, Mike was kind of pissed because we were maybe about 10 minutes from being done with the cartoon the way it was. And then I started singing the song, and Mike was like, well, great, now we have to animate this song and make this song.
But I did get to do some funny, shady drawings of Trogdor and the Dragon Man.
Yeah.
A peasant
and then the
on fire.
dueling guitar solos all came out of, when we made the CD, we wanted to, up the ante and do a big version of Trogdor. And so, who was that? Our friend Chris and Matt Sonic from YOU? Yeah, so it was just 2 friends of ours that are just amazing guitarists. And we sort of let them go at it. Squeedly versus Meadly, the epic battle.
Yes. Wow.
Did you
question
get...
from TK. Got a question from TK the Demon posted, on our site. You guys seem to have inspired a lot of Flash artists since you were there, right when it started becoming popular. Do you guys agree with that, and how do you feel about it?
I feel
like, yeah. Do I agree that we inspired people? I don't know. I hope so. That's awesome if we did, and I think that's great. I would, yeah.
I'm honored if someone
exactly.
inspired.
It's really cool. If anybody considers us to be some sort of, inspiration in terms of cartooning or whatever, that's go for it. That's really cool.
Oh, Demon, thank you for your question. Obo, we got anything else in the room?
Sorry, I'm scrolling through right now. I'm still looking. Give me a second.
That's okay. Let me know what you got. I got a few more. I got a few more. Oh, go ahead, Onea.
Oh, I was just going to ask, did you guys get notified by Joss Whedon before they mentioned Trogdor the Burninator on the Buffy the Vampire Slayer episode? Or is that a complete surprise?
Yes, we did, right?
No, we totally didn't. That was the one where, like, it was, like, after the fact we got an email from somebody that worked on the show that was like, please don't say anything. We totally let this, slip through our legal people and whatever. And because we didn't find out because it aired the night before. It didn't air a day early in Canada, I think. And so we started hearing from.
Because I remember we knew about it before it aired here.
Right.
Because that was,
I think it's because a Canadian fan had seen it and emailed us and was like, "Hey, you guys are in this episode." And so after the fact, we found out that that they were just kind of like, just don't say anything, just put it in, and so nobody said anything. But we would have said yes. So they later on then they did ask permission to put a Strong Bad T-shirt on a character in wasn't it the finale of Angel? We were in both we were in both finales which is pretty cool.
Wow.
But and then we saw that picture. There was a press photo of Joss Whedon with wearing a Strong Bad shirt. So we figured if the dude had supported the website and bought a shirt, I guess we'll let him use Trogdor in a game of D&D with his characters.
That brings up an interesting question, regarding your celebrity or lack thereof. Yeah, you guys. I mean, for the most part, I've noticed, other than when you're playing with, Larry and everyone from the Limousine, you don't get to see your faces unless you buy the DVDs for the most part. Although you're around. How much has your life changed as far as being recognized? Have you being internet celebrities or anything, has it translated into your real life? Or
there was one you got recognized one time or a couple times in restaurants, right, Matt?
No, you just had that one time.
I thought you was one time when there was one time when I went into a restaurant and they recognized me and they carded me when I ordered a drink. And then she was like, "Yeah, the only reason I carded you is I just wanted to make sure it was you." And then they gave us a bunch of free drinks and stuff. And it was just weird because, like you said, they would have basically had to have seen the DVDs or something. And even those, it's not like we're all over them. I guess there's one DVD where we do little intros to a couple of the cartoons. But so that's pretty cool. But other than that, it's nobody.
It's not an issue.
Yeah, it's a non-issue.
I walked around talking like Strong Bad all the time, maybe a little bit. But
there was one time when I went to Starbucks and I wore, usually when I wear our shirts, they're maybe the more obscure shirts, but I was wearing a Homestar hoodie, and the girl that was working at Starbucks was like, "Oh, Homestar Runner. Yeah, I heard that wasn't good anymore." She's like, "I heard that wasn't funny anymore." I was like, no, it's still funny.
Wow.
That was nice. And a friend was with me, and he was like, "Ouch," and I was like, "Yeah, well, what are you gonna do?" And it wasn't that she thought that it wasn't funny anymore. She just heard that it wasn't funny anymore. So that's a little bit better.
Rumors were going
secondhand knowledge.
It wasn't funny.
But it brings up something interesting. I remember Mike and Puppet Homestar have had a lot of screen time together, actually.
Yeah,
they make a good team. Mike makes a good straight man.
We haven't done that. Homestar Puppet has been.
It's been over a year.
It's been like a year. Yeah, we should do. It used to be when we used to. For a while there, we would go to colleges and do little lectures or whatever. I don't know what we did, but they'd have us come out, and so when we did that, we'd always bring the Homestar Puppet. And the puppet and I would usually have adventures around campus or whatever the day before we gave our little talk. Our say. We did a say.
Yeah.
I gotta say, it's brilliant having the puppets and everything. It's sort of a three-dimensional version of Homestar Runner and Strong Bad and the Cheat, where sort of bringing them into our world. Where did that idea come from?
That was really early on. If we ever thought about TV shows, which we didn't for very long, but whenever we did, we always wanted to sort of be a variety show where there was big costumed characters, kind of like Banana Splits or something like that, and cartoons and like the old-timey stuff, and just kind of this mishmash of all the history of Homestar Runner, creating this fake history, really. So we've always sort of wanted to do that, and we just happen to have a friend that makes amazing puppets, so it was easy to get him to make one, and he did a great job. Matt?
I agree with everything you said.
But yeah, it was one of those things where, like most of the stuff we do, having the toys made, working with the band YOU for the CD, it's stuff that just kind of falls into our lap. If we know somebody, if this is an opportunity, it just kind of happens. We probably wouldn't have sought out, somebody to make the puppet if we didn't happen to know someone who made really great puppets. But it worked out well. We've actually got 2 puppets. We've got a Marshy puppet that has been never seen on the site, and a Beauregard puppet, which is a very obscure character. It's a cantaloupe that Strong Bad made by shoving a pencil into the cantaloupe and drawing a little face on it. I think it's only been on the site once, and I guess it wasn't an Easter egg, but anyway. And so we got a puppet made of that, and we've never used that.
Yeah, we should use that.
Yeah, we always thought we'd do the Homestar Runner and Beauregard show.
That's right.
With the puppets, and we never have.
Monday's update. I smell Monday's update.
Because the Beauregard puppet's actually really amazing.
Yeah, the puppet's really good. He's
great.
His mouth actually opens, and they did a cast from an actual cantaloupe, so he's got the nice texture. And then when it's to hide the little mechanism that opens his mouth, he's got those. You know how like when you open a cantaloupe, there's those like vines, kind of like in a pumpkin.
Mm-hmm.
And so those little
all the
things
goop
hang
in
down.
the middle. Yeah.
Yeah. So those hang down to disguise his little trigger mechanism. Pretty awesome puppet.
Wow, a Beauregard puppet. I mean, that is something else.
It's great
Like,
too, because now it's been like 3 years since we made the email with Beauregard in it, so there's like no way anyone would know. You know,
yeah,
even like a
somebody
fan
knew
that's been
back
around
then.
for a while would be like, "What the hell is that?"
Yeah.
Cantaloupe Man.
oh, it's next in your card gauge.
Ooh, that's an card gauge, but I feel like we just need to find a really creepy dude and not do a puppet and do like just a guy with a big beard gut and like just make a mask maybe for him, just a head, and just find a dude to dress up as like that. Did you ever? There's that show on Cartoon Network for a while called Cartoon Planet, and they have this dumpy space ghost guy, like this guy in a real person in a dumpy space ghost outfit that would walk around, and that was always really creepy. And I feel like that's what an card gauge should be.
And yet Strongman is compelled by it, Sinnoh card gauge.
Yeah, he loves him. He can't for some reason he can't see that he's a really shady dude that you probably don't want to hang around. Strongbad just sees something magical in him.
It's a Dateline exclusive waiting to happen.
Pardon?
It's a Dateline exclusive waiting to happen.
Yeah, exactly. I feel like I read somewhere a fan, or maybe it was just a Strongbad email that someone sent in, where they were debating, thinking that that's why he likes him so much, perhaps Card Gauge is actually Strongbad's dad, and so he's not a figment of Strongbad's imagination, and he's real, and he's Strongbad's estranged father.
Yeah, I guess he's real at this point.
Yeah,
for a while there was just it wasn't really sort of established, yeah, whether or not he was a real character in the world. But I guess he's interacted with people other than Strongbad, right?
Yeah, he appeared at that garage sale, but then you never know. Like, you never know if Strongbad emails are just Strongbad saying stuff and sort of making it all up in his head, or if it's really happening. Which is, again, in terms of continuity, is a really nice thing to have, because it's like, oh no, that didn't happen. That was just Strongbad talking about what would happen if that was like that. So that didn't really happen.
Right.
So it can get nice and confusing, which is always great.
Yeah. But yeah, there's a certain ambiguity as to what's real. Once something starts out as being created in Strongbad's head, and it turns to be real, like the Sweet Coming Cakes, like guys, I guess.
Right.
Yeah, there's been several times where Strongbad has imagined Strong-Sad being dead, and so clearly that was in his imagination. But then, yeah, other times when he just punches him, that was probably real.
But like,
that's how we'll get away with killing Pom Pom. We'll just be like, oh, I don't know, it was in a Strongbad email. Maybe that happened. Maybe it didn't.
See, there's one person I'm expecting to hear from, but I'm kind of afraid to summon him because I'm kind of afraid of him. And I'm afraid now that he knows I'm afraid of him, he's going to like make fun of me even more.
Why are you afraid of him?
What's that?
Why are you afraid of him?
I don't know. He's intimidating, and he answers emails a lot. Not that afraid, I guess. I'd be remiss. I mean, I guess I could ask him something very cheesy and give him something to riff off me for. Like, I'd love to hear Strongbad say, "This is Strongbad, and you're listening to Late Nite JengaJam." Something ridiculous like that. But I imagine his outrage would just be compounded. Strongbad is not everybody.
Yeah, it depends on how much cash you got on you, man. If you got like 5 G's, maybe I'll do a drop for your show. But like, unless you got some cold hard cash, man, you're not gonna get anything out of me.
I can only pay in outdated electronics.
Look, I don't even listen to Jefferson Starship anymore, man. I love that We Built That City with Rocky Road song. That thing is awesome.
Wow. That was amazing. Before I let you guys go, I gotta ask you, like, who's there's a debate going on, you know, like the site is called HomestarRunner.com, and Homestar is essentially the star, but Strongbad sort of stole the spotlight from him. But then you did some things to try and get Homestar spotlight back with the puppet stuff. Originally only Homestar. So who do you think is in the lead right now?
Who's in the lead?
I don't know. With 180 emails, I feel like Strong Bad might still have the edge.
Yeah,
but the best part is that Homestar has no idea that he's not winning the race, so it's okay because he still thinks that everything is hunky dory and it's his website and he's the most popular guy in the world.
He'll figure out a way to win. Pom Pom will make him win. When Pom Pom dies,
exactly.
Homestar will go into the lead.
That's it. Pom Pom sacrifices his life to make it to take back HomestarRunner.com for Homestar.
Brilliant.
It's not funny.
Oh man!
Don't you think Homestar would probably be accidentally killing Pom Pom in the first place, and how Pom Pom dies?
That's even sadder.
No, I'd hate to give that up, but how do you think Homestar would react to that? I mean, we get a clip. Coming attraction.
I don't even know if he'd know what had happened. He was like, Pom Pom, that bullet, I told you that bullet was going to come out of that gun. And it was supposed to squish right through you, and then it'll go into something else. But now you're dead, and it's not my fault. I'm going to go get that gold bowl that you stole from me.
And this is something I've been thinking about a long time, but Homestar is ostensibly one of those great American protagonists in fiction, like a Homer Simpson Michael Scott character. One of those guys who's well-meaning and supposedly the heart of gold, but can act selfishly and be self-centered and be incredibly dumb. And it's almost become the image of America.
Yeah, sadly. We'd always thought of him sort of as the captain of the football team, but the clueless jock guy, so he's really popular, but he just doesn't know, doesn't really know what's going on, and by virtue of that, he can be like a total jerk to you, and so he's the most popular guy. So occasionally it's like, hey, I'm gonna shove you under this desk right now because a cute girl's walking by. So hang on a second, and then he crams the kid under the desk, But actually, Homestar might not even be that aloof, honestly.
It doesn't even really seem... What characters do like Homestar?
Yeah, everybody kind of rolls their eyes at him.
Nobody really seeks him out, It doesn't seem like... like Coach Z. Coach Z, seems like he's trying to hang out with Bubs.
Well, everybody likes the Homestar Runner. He's a terrific athlete.
That's right. There's your answer.
I guess that's true. I forgot about that.
But yeah. Wow, Mike, it's been well past an hour, actually. Mike and Matt Chapman, thank you guys so much for doing Late Night JengaJam.
Oh, thanks for having us.
Great job, guys.
Is an hour over, really?
It's actually 71 minutes as we speak.
Wow.
Oh, let's get out of here.
Yeah, man.
Well, take care, guys.
Thanks a lot.
Oh, yeah, no problem. Hang on for a little bit until they wrap up the recording. Next week, like JengaJam listeners, we're having a two-part show. Jim McCann and... what's his name again? Bill Roseman, yeah, from Marvel Comics are going to be on the show. Bill's part portion is going to be pre-recorded. Jim McCann, public relations guy from Marvel Comics, is going to be on here. And in 2 weeks, we have Scott Hines from Fanboy Radio. So until next week, this has been J.G. Ediful, and this has been episode 45 of Late Night JengaJam. The brothers Chaps what made the Homestar Runner. Show is copyright 2006 to 2007, J.G. Ediful. All rights reserved. And I'm reminding you to help control the pet population, and please have your pets spayed or neutered. Thank you, and good night.
Bye.